What's up guys, welcome back to Hanapaa Action. In this episode, I will be breaking down how I caught a 50-pound ulua in 4 feet of water with my hatchet ulua spear gun. It was pretty crazy. Honestly, I'm still kind of freaking out that it happened because most of the time people shoot ulua in deep water. So make sure to stay tuned. I'll roll the full clip right now and then we'll get into some breakdown of that clip just because this is a pretty once in a lifetime thing. So I want to let you guys know exactly what I was thinking while it happened. So yeah, here's the full clip. Be ready to be amazed. Pretty good size. So it's gonna be pretty heavy. Ugh. What does it say, Mom?
48.2, 49.5, 51.0.
So now that you saw the video, I will break it down for you. So as you can see, the first thing that's kind of insane is that I'm in 4 feet of water. Most of the time ulua don't come in. They're that, or people don't shoot them when they come in. But you gotta think about, they like eating taco, and that's taco ground. So of course they're gonna come in eventually. This was a late afternoon dive, and just from shore fishing and watching fish for a long time, listening to my dad and uncle, I do know that big fish come in. So I was looking for an eel over there, and I saw this fish, and I was like, is that an ulua or a shark? And then I dropped down, and I was like, oh my god, it's a monster white ulua. So at first I was like, I need to stone this thing because I don't want to get like towed or lose the gun. Then I remembered I only had 1 band because I'm more accurate with 1 band. So I was like, ooh, I don't know if my 1 band is gonna penetrate this thing's skull. It's solid. This is a 50-pounder, keep in mind. So its head was thick. So I ended up deciding not to go for a headshot. I wanted a shot in the high shoulder right behind the gill plate. So it started turning her away and I was like, shoot, I'm just gonna take my shot. So I took a shot. Looking back at it, I took a really good shot. But at that time, I didn't think that my shaft went through the fish. So I was kind of freaking out. I was like, holy crap, my shot didn't go through. I'm gonna get dragged. But luckily it did go through. So I'll roll the clip a little bit longer and then I'll break it down at the next point. Okay, as you can see, this fish is doing some major head shakes right here. Up until this point, this fish didn't know it was shot. It was kind of still cruising. That's why I wasn't moving very fast. Going back to shore and he went insane. He started doing these big open mouth head shakes like that. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna shake the shaft. I saw the shaft bending. I was like, oh my god. But luckily at that point I kind of saw the barb on the other side, the flopper, and I was like, oh, this was a good shot. So he did that. He went boom, 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 and he took off. You can see, I'll stop it. The shaft is completely bent. I have to buy a new shaft. It was a little sad, but we got the fish. And while it takes off, I'll show you right now. I don't know if you can tell if you're not a diver or anything. I'm flying. Like, I mean, I am flying. You never move this fast in the water. This thing is pulling me so fast. And the reason I'm not letting it take too much line out of the reel, I do have a 50-meter reel on my gun, so I can let it run. But when you're in shallow water like that, you need to keep the fish horizontal. You can't let too much line go out because it's gonna wrap around the reef. When you're in deep water, you fight the fish up and down. So you can let out a lot of line and keep it tight like that. But for me, I knew that I had about 50 to 60 feet before I hit a ledge. And if I hit that ledge, this fish was gone. There's too much stuff for it to wrap around and get tangled on. So my mindset was, we're gonna keep a lot of pressure on this fish. And that's why I didn't let a lot of line come out of the reel. I was trying to keep it as tight as possible. And because of that, I was flying through the water. I mean, I was getting dragged. What else do I have to say? Ooh, I also was a little bit worried because I've had the crimp fail where you attach the shaft to the tagline. I've had that crimp fail before and lost the nui and kala like that. So I was thinking, I was trying to do the calculations in my mind. A lot of things were going through my mind, but I was thinking, did I shoot anything big with this gun? And the answer was no. So I was like, I think the crimp is pretty fresh. I was pretty confident in the fact that it was going to hold, and we'll speed it up a little bit and go into the next point where I started thinking that I was actually going to land this fish. So the fish started nearing shallow water. As you can tell, I looked up, a little wave was there, and the water got even shallower. I was in like 2 feet of water. And what I think, I'm not sure if this is the case, what I think happened is this fish had to turn sideways to go into that area. And when it turned sideways, it lost all of its momentum going forward. And it turned sideways and got a little stuck up in a little pool. It's raining again, sorry. But once it turned sideways in that pool, I don't know, it just lost all its power. I was able to catch up to it and grab its tail. It did this big tail shake, and I was like, oh my God, like, this is rough. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to wrangle him. So I decided I wasn't gonna go for the tail, I was gonna go for the hand and the gills. So I grabbed the gills were too big. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna bear hug this thing. So I just ended up wrapping this fish like this. The GoPro cut out, or I don't know, cut out. I don't know why, it just happened. So I was bear hugging him back to shore, and he broke out. I had him like this. I thought he was, you know, pretty much dead, and he went, I had to let go of him, and he took off again, and yeah. But luckily I was able to get him again. Sorry, I don't have that on film, but film is pretty good. I was able to catch up to him again, do the same thing, wrap him up, bear hug him, and I was still only like 60 feet from shore, so I just swam him back to shore, got to the beach, and I was freaking out. I mean, freaking out. I was like, holy shit, I just shot a monster. Yeah, it was crazy. After that initial excitement, I started thinking, how am I gonna get this fish up the beach? I was pretty far from my spot. The battle was over, but not over, because I knew this fish was landed. I was trying to brain it, but my knife didn't fit. So I used my shaft and I brained it. So it was dead. This fish was mine. I had to figure out how to get it back to the car. So I left it on the beach. I ran up to my car, and I saw these construction workers, and I was like, yo, uncle, you guys help me out. I shot this big ulua, I can't carry him. They're like, oh, they were like tripping out. They're like, no way. So they walked down, and they were like losing their mind when they saw it. They're like, oh boy, you shot this by yourself. I was like, yeah, there's no one with me. So I couldn't carry it. So they were super nice. They helped me carry the fish up to the car. And I mean, I was losing my mind. I was like, oh my God, this is the fish of a lifetime. That's basically it. I brought it home. I was like psyching out to show my dad. He was like, his biggest was a 40-pounder. He's a fisherman. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this is bigger than its biggest. So I wanted those bragging rights just a little, but yeah, it was pretty cool. We got to take pictures of it. I'll put one of the pictures up right now. And yeah, it was just, I don't know, the greatest experience of my life, like by far. The last thing I have to say about this fish is that we did get it printed. Gyotaku printing is, I think it's an old Japanese method that they used. They used to use it back in the day to like record, like, you know, the big ones, the trophies. And that's pretty much exactly what I did. This is a trophy fish for me, a once in a lifetime fish. I don't know if I'm ever gonna catch one bigger. So we decided to get it printed. Gary Soma, or Gyotaku Gypsy, he did a print, and it's amazing. I'll show you guys a couple of the clips now. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to watch, my dad did, but it is absolutely amazing. I'll make sure to upload a video when I get the final print in a couple of months, but it was really nice just being able to document and record this fish. So down the line, when people ask me, like, you know, that thing was really 50 pounds, like they're gonna be doubting me because, you know, you hold them out like that in the pictures. I'm gonna be like, yeah, this was really a 50-pound fish. So it's just good to have it on record. Yeah, that is it. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. If you're not into the cleaning and stuff, this video is basically over. Make sure to like and subscribe, and if you want to watch how we clean and cook it, make sure to stay tuned.
big.
It's huge.
You got enough pictures?
Yeah, I think so. Oh. Monster. 50-pounder right here. Yeah. Perfect shot. This was the entry point. Maybe not perfect, but with one band, shot it there. Shot one down into the and exited down here somewhere. I only had one band, so that was what we were aiming for. Second. Oh my god.
I like my fish and boy, I'm a big boy. Lomi salmon, deep caula, extra large, lily koi, squid or chicken luau. Don't forget the lau lau, beef or tripe stew, just to name a few. Oh yeah. Speciality and mama's boy more cheese. Smoked meat, show you porky with the rice.
Is it? Yeah.
Should we save them?
Maybe for bait. So, since this is a big fish, there's a lot of eggs in it, but that's just so happens. So, for all of you guys who aren't like local fishermen and divers, I want to talk a little bit about the ulua, because I know in some places you guys don't really shoot them or target them, but here in the islands they're a huge, I don't want to say sport fish, but they're like that one fish that pretty much everyone is trying to go for, right? The shore fishermen, that's like some of the biggest fish they can catch. I think our state record is 151. I could be wrong, and that was shot, but it's a fish that if you're from Hawaii, everybody knows. You want to shoot a big ulua. My dad's biggest was a 40-pounder that he caught on the pole. My uncle caught a 55-pound kagami, which is a giant back in the day. Unfortunately, they don't have pictures of that, but I'll show you guys my dad's 40-pounder. So, ulua are, they're not the best eating fish. You can eat them. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. All of this fish was eaten and given away to people who will eat it. None of this fish was wasted at all. But if you compare ulua to papil or a smaller fish, like a 10-pound ulua, the smaller ones taste way better. But these big ones are the ones that people really want. So for me, I don't want to be catching a lot of big ones. I don't run into them all the time either, but this is enough for me. This one big fish, hopefully I don't need to shoot another 50-pound ulua, because these big fish, the big ulua, the big uhus, the big, I don't know, what else is there? All that kind of stuff, the big kumus and stuff, they breed more. They have more babies. They have more eggs. It's not like humans where they get less fertile over time. They get more fertile over time. So when you shoot these big fish, it's worse than taking a bunch of little fish. Because as you can see later when I'm cleaning this fish had a lot of eggs. Now, it is sad, but this is my first one, so I'm not sad about shooting it. It's just, you gotta respect the fish and respect the ecosystem. You don't want to be taking a ton of uluas from the reef just because they're the ones who are going to be producing the next generation. I want down the line my kids to be able to catch ulua, and I want to be able to catch more papio down the line. So keep on like catching ulua and these big ones. It's really fun, it's really nice, but it's a lot less sustainable than catching the smaller papios. But it's a weird sensation. It's like you feel really happy and you feel a little bit sad at the same time, just because I know that fish in a couple of months maybe it was gonna give birth, or the eggs were gonna be dropped off or whatever. I don't know how it works, and there's gonna be, I don't know, a couple thousand more baby papios on the reef, which would have been cool. But at the end of the day, it's really hard to turn down shooting a big ulua when it's swims in front of you, especially when it's your first time. I'm only 17 if you didn't know, so yeah, it was quite an experience, but it is a little bit bittersweet. I don't think that your emotions or your attitude should be all like, oh my god, I just shot this ulua, like freaking out, psyching out. Like, of course I was psyched out of my mind, but you gotta have respect for the fish. And yeah, I understand some of you guys are gonna have, you know, things to say about shooting a ulua if you're from like Australia or something and you guys don't catch them, but just the way we do it over here. So yeah, I'll finish off the rest of the clips, the cleaning, filleting. Boom. Aloha. Is this like kind of raw? It is kind of raw, yeah?
And every local boy would agree that it's just the Hawaiian in me.
It was good. Better than the Spearfishing.
I like my fish and boy. I'm a big boy, loamy salmon, deep kaula, extra large, really boy. Squid or chicken luau, don't forget the laulau. Beef or tripe stew, just to name a few. Oh yeah. Tripe stew, just to name a few. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Hanapaa Action. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, make sure to check out my channel down in the description below and hit that subscribe button. It really helps. It lets me know I should keep on doing what I'm doing. If you have any advice or comments that you want to see me do later on in future videos, just let me know. And make sure to stay tuned for more fishing and diving content that I'm supposed to be uploading weekly, but since it's volleyball season, it might be every other week for now until summer, where I should be getting out 2 videos a week. So thank you for watching. Until next time, guys.